Oh, it's been like a long time since I've done anything like this. This is just, hmm. So, for those of you that happen to be from Twitter and are following my account on there, yeah, this is me in case you haven't seen any of my awful ass dance videos. I apologize in advance for those. A quick little tip about that. I actually do know how to dance socially, and I just dropped my other phone. I actually do know how to dance socially. I mainly dance to salsa, bachata, and just do whatever when it comes to EDM and just, you know, party music. But I would like to actually learn how to animate my body more, like do animation style dancing. Examples are robotic dancing, when your body moves and it literally looks like a robot's doing that. I want to teach myself how to do that and just kind of get better. It's a new hobby, something that will help me hopefully get over some of the emotions I'm feeling towards things that are happening right now. Hopefully they're over. So, but enough about that. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and just use my YouTube channel for this, mainly because I finally have a phone that's allowed me to record in a higher resolution. I'll even show you the phone I had. I had this rinky dinky fucking shitty smartphone. It's from I got it back in 2016. I don't even it was back when I was with What's His Face with my ads, and it's just I mean, it was alright at the time. It's the LG3 Escape, but it was never a good phone. You can probably tell, like, if you go on my website and you see some of the pictures I took, you're probably gonna notice lower resolution quality size images on there, and it was because it was taken with this phone. The phone I'm using has a much better camera. It's actually able to record up to 4K, but I noticed that the frame rate tends to kind of dip here and there, and it kind of stutters, especially when I import to my computer. So I stick to 1080p. But anyways, a lot of stuff has kind of changed, at least for me, mentally, a little bit physically. At the same time, it's still kind of the same situation as before. But like I said, I hope it gets resolved. So I wanted to make a little video, a short one, of something that I'm kind of noticing, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents. I don't know if it's gonna help anyone, especially if you're an artist. If you're an artist that already has your audience, like you post a image of, let's say, I don't know, your work in progress pic, or maybe a sketch, or you're open for commissions, and you consistently get business, even if it's just one person that commissions you on that particular day or week, whatever. This doesn't apply to you, whether it's through Twitter, Instagram, even via Reddit, social media websites and platforms. This video is pretty much for those that are either new, perhaps those that fall under my category, which is you do have decent quality work, but you can't seem to obtain an audience, or let me see, or you're someone that's been on social media for, I don't know, a number of years, but still haven't seen that much growth. I'm gonna kind of go over what I have done, what I've noticed, and kind of give my 2 cents about this whole being obsessive over followers thing. I'll say straight up, I'm an artist, okay? I never started freelancing until, and I was actually kind of forced to do it back in 2015. I would say 2016, that's when I really started, but my interest started in that 2015. I did go to college for the arts. For some of you that know me from my graphite pencil work, I will say straight up, I actually hated that art style. I actually really, really dislike it, actually. But I also wanted to pursue comics, and so I work in a very different, heavily inked style art. So yeah, I have a college degree and all that bullshit. I really don't want to get into that. I gotta make a separate video about that. But I do freelance, and I am transitioning from that to a convention artist. Now, I'm noticing artists, I doesn't matter how many followers you have, but I'm noticing a trend where I can understand if it's once in a while. I can understand if you've been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and let's just say people like me and other people have noticed that you've been consistently been trying and doing everything you did, and maybe we've seen you at cons, and I can understand once in a while that you get frustrated or you ask for followers, not necessarily ask for followers, but ask for the followers to just interact with you more or interact with your artwork more and craft. But it almost seems like people just expect the followers to magically appear when you post an art image, and you can do it for a few days, a few weeks, to a few years. You have to understand something. The algorithm, and this is via Twitter and Instagram before I continue, I'm actually Hispanic, so I understand both English and Spanish, so yes, you're gonna notice I mispronounce certain English words here and there. I apologize ahead of time. Please bear with me. On Twitter and Instagram, you have to understand that the algorithms are just going against the artists. I noticed that when I first started to use Instagram a year ago, I used to get a lot of interaction. I mean, a lot, and I put a lot of my artwork into a lot of tags that are supposed to be in the correct tags. Now I do it all the time. I do it recently, and I've been semi-active, but with all these past cons, now I'm off con for now until January. Then I'll go back to my con prep season and all that. I noticed a significant decline in interaction. It's not the quality. I know it's not the quality of the work. It's not the tags. You just have to understand that people are human. Algorithms are shit. They're fucking shit. Sometimes when you post something, even if it's just the most random shit in the world, there's a chance that people will not see it. So you have to keep this in mind. Definitely what can help, it's not guaranteed, but what can help, at least for a little bit, is using the correct tags. Tag. Just put a little hashtag, type in, whenever I do my graphite pencil work, I would type in graphite and a bunch of options will come in. Now, if it's trending or people are actually checking it, there's no guarantee for that either. You might as well just place your image and tag it via the trending tag, but that won't make any sense, and more than likely people are going to ignore it because they're going to go, what the hell is this? This is not what I'm in this hashtag for. I guess via Instagram or through Twitter or whatever social media website that's similar to the likes of Twitter, Instagram. So that's the thing. Tagging. I have a small following on Twitter. It mainly consists of people that I've either met at cons, and there's literally, I can count on both hands, and none past that I actually met at cons that are actually interacting with me online. And then a lot of those are in the furry community. And before I go on, yes, I actually am part of the furry community. My interest is in anthropomorphic artwork and animal artwork. You're going to notice that on my website. That's all I do. I'm kind of switching over to, taking off my sandals. I'm actually switching to a little bit of human work because I have to start showcasing my capabilities as an artist, whether it's in the graphite or in inked artistic art styles. And so I'm kind of doing that for a little bit, but that's my main thing, and that includes my comics. But yeah, my followers consist of this: furry fandom. Another thing, you have to understand that when you have an audience, if the audience is there for just, let's just say you're, a musician, right? Let's just say you work in different styles of music. Let's just say you know how to create beats for trap music, but then you play, I don't know, the fucking trumpet, you know. But let's just say your recordings of playing the trumpet caught the attention of a small audience of people, and they follow your account, let's just say on Twitter, and then you start posting your trap beats on Twitter. You're gonna notice you're not gonna get as much traction as you would if you were to post yourself playing the trumpet, because that audience is there for just you playing the trumpet. I know it sounds like, oh my goodness, they only give a shit about one thing about me, but that's the truth. And that's what I noticed when that's what the audience is there for, mainly for whatever craft that you're doing. When you post something else, or maybe you're posting a random post about, I don't know, something about yourself, or maybe how you feel on that day, or maybe you slipped on, I don't know, a fucking potato, and you fell through a dark hole in outer space, and then you came back to your grandparents' house or something. I don't fucking know, man. There's gonna be far less interaction. Maybe they might go, oh, hey, this is funny, but they're just gonna go, oh, they're not posting art, and that's the way it is. So that's definitely something you have to understand as well, you know. Maybe there's a specific piece you did, and you got a lot of followers because of that, and maybe they expect more of that style of artwork, but then let's just say you're like me and you work in different styles. Yeah, you're gonna have a mixed bag of interaction online. I do and am aware of the importance of having some sort of online reach. You know, specifically when you're an artist, you don't know if a particular tweet or post might reach to someone of, I don't know, let's say a hiring agency or maybe a studio. But like I said, there is no guarantee. It's up in the air, which comes to my next point. Another one thing that I know is that kind of helped is just staying in touch with those that are not only interested in your art, but interested in you as a person. In other words, you know, they like your work and they, you know, enjoy your company, or like you as a person. They think you're pleasant, you think you're professional, and they stay in touch with you. You know, that's another thing you have to consider as well. And this won't apply to everyone. That's mainly going to depend on what you are trying to achieve online. Over the time, I've been on Twitter, I've been on Instagram a little bit. I just started to realize that more than likely some of the peeps that maybe do want to follow me don't, especially during cons, because, well, conventions, especially if you haven't been to one before, they can be very hectic, and people forget. Even if you give them their business card, they forget. So, and pardon me if I happen to lose my train of thought, I am so sorry. Like, I've been having such a shit of a week. I don't know if it's my fucking hormones or what the fuck it is, but yeah, people tend to forget, and I almost lost my train of thought, excuse me. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes people may or may not follow you, or they just don't, and I just remembered, they just don't recognize your social media account. Let's just say, I don't know, let's just say you're a toy maker and you make toys, right? And you make cutesy toys. How the hell are they gonna know that that's you when you have a picture of I don't know, your dog licking its ball or something, or a toy? They're not gonna know that's you. It's like, it's just some random normie account. They're gonna move on. No. One thing that would definitely help is making sure that you have both an icon and either artwork banner or something that lets people know that this is you, the artist, or whatever, the person that they met at the con. My character Cassidy is literally, and there's a reason behind it. She's a personal character of mine, but she's not my persona. She's actually a white snow fox with a few markings that I'm actually going to be decorating on her, and blue horns. I mean, she's white, you know, and there's not a lot of detail on her, so already she's not going to be eye-catching. Another thing, Cassie doesn't look anything like me except for the blue bandana. I'm wearing a white one. How the fuck are people going to know that's me? Like, yes, I go to furry cons and I have the little tag, But most of the time, people are interacting with me, my art. They're not going to know that's me. So you have to consider that as well. What icon are you using? What banner are you using? Are you letting people know that's you and that's your art? You know, on my banner, I have the name Casty and the tat style that kind of reflects my interest, which is also playing video games and stuff. I don't even have time to do that shit now. But back then I was really heavy into playing video games, so it has in that little retro Nintendo text format. And it's this artist and graphic design. That's how my business cards look. But I have that as a banner, and then for my icon, I have a picture of me. So people know that's me, and so when they stumble across my account, or they see me interact with them, and then they recognize me, they tend to follow me. So that's one thing I noticed too, is that when I dipped out Casty's icon with my mugshot, I noticed that people that I went even thought, hey, how come they're not following me? I met them before. Let's keep in touch. They follow me, and then they start to actually interact with me more, and they actually gravitate towards me more. So that's another thing you have to consider. Let me see what else I've done. Okay. One thing you might want to consider is maybe posting different content. Now, like I said, if you already have a large audience, I recommend that you keep your Wachichu general bullshit on one account and then keep your art related stuff strictly for your art stuff. I personally don't think, and probably won't need to do that for a very long time, because again, I don't have that much of an audience online, you know. Things are very different in the con scene, so I really wouldn't worry about that, unless you're heavily, let's just say political, or you're posting content that's a little that, you know. One thing that helped me was that I started into a hobby of dancing. Just like flood of my fucking sweater. I started to recently get into dancing, and I actually like dancing. I just never really had a chance to do it. And when I'm talking about more stylized dancing, not just being a social dancer, you know, but just actual stylized dancing, popping, animation dancing, swing. I mean, just to give you a few examples. And so I decided to take on that particular hobby after I attended Megaplex of that year. For those of you that don't know, Megaplex is a furry con that's located in Orlando, Florida. It's a con that's grown a lot over the years, and that was the con that actually gave me a path to essentially follow for my work. So if I never went there back in 2017, I would not even be here. I would not be alive. Let's just leave it at that. So, I decided to get into dancing, and this was something that I wasn't even going to do, not taking up dancing, but what I was not going to do was post videos of myself fucking up and dancing. I started to do that, and then I noticed that more and more people start to hit me up or interact, and then when I post my art, that's when more people start to interest. So essentially, here's important. I tried a few different things, and it wasn't because, oh, I just want to get a following. No, I just tried because I figured, you know what, I need to put myself out there more. I mean, and just why not? And I noticed a change once I started to do that. Hell, I started to notice a slight change when I changed my icon. So, this won't apply to everyone. It's all up to, I really hate to admit this, but it's really all up to chance. I'm the type of person that doesn't want to leave it up to chance. I prefer to just have a somewhat of a foundation when it comes to my work and stuff. That's why, and even there's a couple of prints out there. There's actually a shit ton of prints in those 2 containers. I actually have 7 containers filled of stuff, and that's because that's how much work I have and how much I sell at cons at times, And while I can understand the obsession and wanting a following, you know, you sometimes have to try out different things and just not really worry about it too much, you know. Especially with, it's already known that, again, the algorithms are shit. You know, sometimes you do use the correct tags, and it's no guarantee that people will even acknowledge your work. It's just the way it is. So I guess my message to those that are kind of going through that, just don't worry about it. You know, especially if you're a beginning artist, I would focus on try to connect with other artists in a similar footing as you, or even those that are more popular or more who have more of an audience. You might think that, oh, they probably don't see my tweet. Yeah, they do. They're just busy people. We're all human, you know. And I do understand the importance of growing a business, but there's one thing that actually opened my eyes a lot, that I saw for myself, is that there was an artist outside of the fandom, a general artist that drew in an inked art style, not similar to mine, but they were drawing in that style, and they had a lot of followers on Twitter. Let me tell you, a lot, mucho on Twitter. And it seemed like they were doing well. You might think, damn, they got so many people lining up for commissions and stuff, and one good month they just, you know, kind of started becoming active, and then a couple months after that, excuse me, I just belched, wow, they just, again, I just did it again, oh, they disappeared, almost. I'm thinking, well, they're probably just taking a break, or... And then a month after those few months that they were just gone, they made a post. It wasn't on Twitter. It was, what was it? I know it wasn't DA. Tumblr. They made a post on Tumblr. And they were like, they were trying to work things out with a partner affairs, and shit hit the fan, and they don't have money or barely have any money, and they gotta move back to, and it's not a bad thing, you know, but they had to seek assistance from family members, and now they were just too far gone to even focus on their art. And it kind of took me by surprise. It's like, well, even if that was happening, what about the people that, you know, couldn't you just get commissions from them? Couldn't you just... But no. And sometimes things like that do happen. You know, again, we're all human. We're not robots. So, numbers are numbers at the end of the day. Numbers, the followers are there as a result of whatever work that you are doing. It's not to say that, well, here my ass is with close to 200 followers almost, and that's because I barely do any work. No, it's just, people just haven't discovered your work. You just haven't been talking to the right people. I hate to put it like this, but the right people. Or you just have to expose your art more. You can do that by going to cons, or join group chats, or just interacting with other artists on Twitter, or other people on Twitter in general. And not just Twitter, but different social platforms. I personally prefer Twitter, Reddit mainly for my commissions and stuff, if I wanted to look for those, and a little bit of YouTube, and I'm thinking about using YouTube again. So, I'm going to be doing the videos in this now. I'm not even going to bother animating anything. I am done with video editing. I actually stopped video editing, I think, 2 years ago now. I don't do that anymore. So, I hope this makes sense. I hope I didn't offend anyone, especially if you're an artist, or perhaps you're an artist with an established identity and audience. You're probably thinking, oh man, this fucking bitch with a nobody, with barely any following to speak of, and I'm so sorry, my phone's vibrating. And it's like, yeah, it might seem like I'm not doing much, but I'm actually getting close to making a living out of my art. But you wouldn't even know because I have my following so small. But yeah, don't let yourself be consumed by that. Just keep posting your work. My motto is, If at least one person likes that shit, that's it. That means that one person likes the piece. That's all that matters to me. You know, I'm more concerned with in person, in real life, at cons, at tables. I know that's not for everyone. This is just for me. You know, and maybe you do want those likes because again, you never know who's going to see it, but you never know. But don't let it discourage you, because then it starts to consume you, and then your work starts to suffer, and then you start thinking, well, maybe I have to do certain types of art, or and no, whatever art it is, whatever style you work in, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Today you're a nobody. Tomorrow you're gonna have, and maybe not, who knows, probably have dozens of people that admire your work, but you have to put in the work, and you can't not stop. If I would have stopped a couple years ago, again, I would not even be alive. So I hope it helps anyone that's watching this. I am so sorry you have to watch and look at this lovely mug face of mine. Shit, I actually haven't danced. I'm gonna try to dance again. I feel so off still. I don't know what's going on with me this week. But I'm gonna try dancing. If not, I'm probably just gonna lift weights. I do need to get back into weightlifting. I'm noticing I'm getting a little weak with lifting some heavy stuff. That's not good. So, yeah. Take care. Oh, and don't spam any speed lapse videos. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm sorry. It takes too much of my time, and people don't really watch them anyways. So, no speed lapse videos. I'll do this. Take care. Please stay safe. I'm serious. Please stay safe. Bye-bye.